Now, the Nigerian Stock Exchange and Global Business News provider Bloomberg are hosting the second edition of the CEO Roundtable event, targeting economists, investors, and CEOs of leading firms in Lagos on August the 31st. The 2016 edition of the Roundtable focuses on how to navigate the changing business landscape in Nigeria, in particular since May 2014, when the country's economy faces significant headwinds of decline in global commodity prices and policies implemented by the new administration. Our CEO Roundtable will be addressed by the Stock Exchange CEO, Mr. Oscar Onyema, and Mrs. Selo Chakri, the head of market structure strategy for Middle East and Africa at Bloomberg LP. Now, the World Economic Forum has released the 2016 Global Shapers Annual Survey. The survey offers insights into the thinking and views of youths between 18 to 35 years of old on technology, governance, values, and the role of business in society. I'm being joined by the head of the Global Shapers Community World Economic Forum, Yemi Babington Ashaye. Good afternoon, Yemi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, tell us about this survey. What is the main objective?
Well, the main objective is to strengthen the voice of young people. We often say that young people are the leaders of tomorrow. We have to listen to them, engage them. At the same time, we all know we don't do such a good job. So what we want to do is make it easier for people to listen to young people by capturing their voice and sharing that voice.
Right. This survey tried to look at what the youth, the millennials, if you like, what they think about global economy and outlook, technology and innovation, values and societies, as well as the role of the private sector. Now, what are your findings? What are their perspectives in these areas?
Fantastic. So everything you said now is correct. We asked two key questions when we designed the process. The first is, how do they see the world? The second is, what do they want to do about it? So we have perception and action. And we see four key messages come out in all areas. The first one is optimism. Young people are optimistic about the future. 70% of them across the world see the world as full of opportunity. They also believe that technology is creating jobs. At a time when most leaders are talking about where do we get the next wave of jobs, young people are saying, actually, technology is creating jobs, not destroying jobs. So there's that optimism is the first key message. The second one is a sense of unity, a kind of shared sense of destiny. And we see this in many of the questions which we may explore together. But one pattern is refugees. Young people are very, very welcoming to refugees. And we ask a series of questions on this. But there are also more questions that unpack this key message. The third key message is a real desire for honesty, integrity, and transparency. And again, you will see this across many questions. Young people are tired of corruption. It just keeps coming back in all the questions we ask. That's the third key message. The fourth one is about technology. We see that young people are very enthusiastic about technology. At the same time, they demonstrate some caution. So I think the fourth key message is young people embrace technology with caution. These are the four key messages.
Right. You did mention these young people, majority of them, being frustrated when it comes to corruption and of course, lack of jobs. How do they think they themselves, as young people, can contribute to fighting this corruption and, of course, reducing unemployment rates?
Fantastic. So, corruption, we asked the question, what is the biggest challenge in your country? And we asked this in 181 countries. We got 26,600 responses. The top response in every single world region was corruption. Now, this is something we did not expect. Every single world region, from East Asia to North America, young people said corruption. Now, when we asked about what government can do to tackle corruption, ways to show transparency, one of the top things that came out, some of the ideas that came out was regular dialogue with citizens. So, you know, very often government makes promises and nobody sees what happens. So they asked for regular dialogue with citizens. But the top recommendation in all regions, and it was a very popular recommendation in Africa, was visible penalties or punishment for public officers who abuse power. Now, this was the top recommendation in the whole world. And I think these days, in many economies, the top way we punish officials who violate the office or the trust is for them to resign. And what young people are saying is resignation is not good enough. They want to see visible penalties for officials who abuse the office.
All right, when you get these responses from these youths, what do you do with them? How do you ensure that their thoughts are incorporated into government policies? I mean, they make their suggestions. How do you now take it back to the respective governments to ensure that the voices of these young ones are heard?
Thank you. Great question. And on this, the media is our friend. So like you're doing now, we know everybody watches Channels TV. So we know that by getting access to these insights, people will incorporate it. But there are more things we do. Now, you asked about our objective. We hope that people use the insights in this survey to plan their activities, their policies, their actions, and we begin with us. So the World Economic Forum is already packaging this resource to share with world leaders at all the upcoming meetings, including in Davos. We have breakdowns by age group, gender, region, so we can present to different world leaders something specific to their region or their country. Now, this survey was run by the Global Shapers community. We have over 450 hubs in over 450 cities in the world, and it's young people taking action. So we also plan to lead the implementation by using the insights from this survey to guide the projects that we do in different countries. One of the findings which I believe your colleagues will appreciate is we ask young people, what would empower you in your country? What would empower you as a young person in your country? And the answers were very interesting. In joint first place, we had support entrepreneurship. As you know very well, young people like starting businesses, and it's not easy to find support. But I said it's joint first place. The other top choice globally was freedom of the media. Young people believe that for them to be empowered, the media needs to be free too. The third recommendation to empower young people in a country is to ensure that they have access to the internet. And these are top 3 recommendations. Again, these are messages we share with government, with business, civil society. I will be meeting civil society leaders this evening to share some of the messages that come out of this survey. And we hope to use it to guide our own action as well as the World Economic Forum and the Global Shapers community.
All right, thank you very much, Yemi Babington Ashaye. He is the head of the Global Shapers Communities, the World Economic Forum. Thank you very much for your time.